In this world, demons have begun invading since they think humans are worthless, and they absolutely hate weebs like you. So as usual, we got that anime alliance going on with humans, pointy-ear humans, and furry humans all banding together to fight for a greater cause. But here's the catch in this one, we got female heroes with massive badonkadonks and G-Yats running the show since they are overpowered as heck here. By using their powerful and heavy personalities combined with their glorious bakeries, the Weeb Alliance has been able to stop the evil forces. And today, they make their final stand against them, as the heroes have finally made it to the final boss to get rid of them for once and for all. However, the Chads and Stacy's heroes only party made a fatal mistake, since they forgot to bring enough sussy just chatting streamers on their team. So with only one sussy female hero left standing, our boy stuck at the verge of death, able to only watch on like a cheerleader. Things are not looking so hot. Seconds later, the last eye candy left standing gets sent flying back like Team Rocket blasting off again, and the weird thing is that her large twin pyramids of Giza get totally exposed. After hitting the wall as hard as Truck Kun hitting someone that's about to reincarnate, Crimson Lucia perishes, causing the Demon King to erupt in a roar of victory. Our boy then sighs, unable to believe it's all up to him again to carry his bronze teammates against a Radiant Smurf, but it's like he only has one shot left. Regardless, as he's just being chilling, he discovers that the Demon King is actually a girl, and she's basically a baddie from another world, because those watermelons are unmatched, and if we go lower here, we would get banned. And since her physical form was so out of the world crazy, she gets nerfed as she's forced to dwindle back to her always missing leg day, everyday form after spending too much energy. With Sir Chad witnessing the entire transformation, he realizes he's still down bad after he catches himself in 4K thinking that he would totally hit even if she's forever stuck in her weak form. Eventually, he gets a hold of himself and is able to successfully control his raging banana tree plantation by closing his eyes to think of sheep jumping a fence over and over. He then plays dead, cosplaying all of us that's dead inside, but she ends up sitting right beside him looking totally aloof. Now, with the prime opportunity to end it all, he picks up his legendary +15 sword and readies to destroy the unsuspecting queen. However, she calls him out upon picking up his sword, busy questioning him as to why he's faking it when he's supposed to be the legendary hero of the human nation. But you know what they say, pros never fake, so bro ends up sticking his giant fork straight into the heart of the demon queen while looking like he's Genya from Demon Slayer. Success, it works. His plot armor saves the day as he's able to actually defeat the purple-haired queen without her being able to react even though she knew he was alive the entire time. Unfortunately, as she falls over totally destroyed, her necklace instantly began flickering red faster and faster. But by the time our bro realized that the necklace is actually a magical one that self-destructs whenever the owner's life pool depletes, it was too late. Mere seconds later, he opens his eyes with his memories still intact, yet a younger version of his old captain is busy trying to wake him up. It's then revealed that his name is Darren, and after taking a quick moment to take it all in, bro realizes he just got reincarnated into the same world, but he's back in the past. As such, he's super excited since he kept his memories, so he already knows how things are about to play out. So basically, he got some mega cheats as he's ready to buy Bitcoin in 2008. Anyways, as Darren continues celebrating, he gets ganked by a girl named Ray, and she also do be looking like she packing more than your typical anime girl. She got them perfect body proportions, so she's already sweating from her own heat that she was born with, but somehow, Darren isn't exactly thrilled to see her. We then discover that the reason why Darren isn't being a simp right now is because Ray is one of the main reasons he got reincarnated by a magical necklace, since she caused strife among the Union of Heroes. Anyways, as she's busy trying to scold our boy, the two get interrupted by a guy named Sir Tyke, and him and his entire gang all have that perfect punchable face. Now, armed with the knowledge of the future, Darren knows that these two are having a fling and he needs to stop it at all cost. Nevertheless, not only is Tyke a liar and a coward, but he's also the jealous type, so he's already questioning Ray as to why she's with Mr. Chatham as Prime right now. Outnumbered 3-1, Darren decides to stand his ground while the goons attempt to bully him like old times. Bold move, boys, since you never want to mess with someone who looks like the alien emoji, since something must be totally wrong with them. So now gone with the old Darren and in with the Sigma male, he ends up confronting Tyke while telling Ray in his face that he's a killer. Darren then continues snitching on Tyke, explaining to Ray that the only reason he's getting promoted is because he made the entire situation up. And instead of him being the one that actually defeated the demon, it was someone else, and he ended up running away while throwing his own teammate under the bus. Furthermore, after running away, he got caught by a Krillin wannabe named Sir Hackard, who threatened them by saying he's about to whoop their butts once they get back home. When Sir Hackard went back to finish the demon from which they were running away from, Tyke took the opportunity to strike and deliver a finishing blow upon the unsuspecting balding man. Upon finishing his explanation, Tyke couldn't be more obvious than your typical dumb harem main character, so he threatens Darren he's about to stick a sword in the wrong hole. However, since Darren is the only one here that likes to be the bottom carry, he changes the pass by quickly delivering a lightning-fast punch straight into Tyke's stomach. Bro then instantly falls to the ground as if One Punch Man showed up in Darren's stead. But since he doesn't have his six-pack like a true Chad, he just crumbles and cries like a baby. His boys then take him away since the two are too scared to do anything like my bottom frag sage that's duo-queued with my dead Reina. Fast forward to later on in the night, Darren surprisingly receives a letter from Ray to meet up since her phone apparently ran out of call and text minutes. With a huge sussy smile on his face, he quickly leaves the room, but that smile is making my sussy senses begin to tingle. Anyways, he rushes as fast as he can to Ray's house to meet up with her, but bro ran faster than Usain Bolt since it seems like he thinks he's about to get lucky. But the ad lookalike, who happens to always be sweating, informs Darren that she really wants to talk about Tyke, so it looks like she's simping for him. She then quickly serves tea for the both of them, but she seems a tad bit nervous, so Darren thinks something's up, probably because those green watermelons look like they are about to burst. Nonetheless, Darren pulls off a big brain move by swapping their teacups, since he doesn't want to accidentally get poisoned, but this causes Ray to angrily slam the table, claiming that her boyfie would never do such a thing. But as Ray begins to drink the teacup, she starts feeling weird in the wrong parts of her body but acts like nothing is actually happening to her. As such, Darren stares into her soul as she continues on drinking, patiently waiting to see if something is actually going to happen, as he knows for a fact that Tyke must have done something. However, all she does is burp, and once she notices Darren not saying anything, she starts thinking that he must be a weirdo, as he's probably staring at her treasure chests that look like they can't be supported by the dress. With time ticking and no one budging, Darren begins to explain the exact play-by-play of when Tyke visited her earlier, calling his plan all out as he knows him all too well. He also points out the fact that he probably put something in her teacup that was supposedly for him instead, that would have caused him to activate his sussy powers he inherited from the pervy sage. Mere seconds later, it's revealed that Darren was entirely correct, as the effects of the poison has already begun fully taking hold of Ray as she can't stop the urges within her. Suddenly, the sussy Fire Nation attacks, so Darren takes advantage of the situation while knowing that Tyke would be waiting outside with his useless boys wanting to barge in. So now Darren has decided to partake on the mission of making Ray his girl from now on. So he starts grabbing the apples before him using the 5-star stealing method. And lo and behold, the coward gets startled after hearing Ray emulate some sounds straight from the sussy anime hub he loves to watch, so he already knows what's going on. As such, he quickly barges in with his boys to make sure no funny business are going on. But it's too late since Darren has already turned the turntables on him. Once inside, the toxic Virgin League players witness something they have never seen before, and it's a girl's underpants totally gone while Darren is busy holding on to the bakery like his life depends on it. Eventually, the three has had enough of a Sigma male stealing all their hard-earned girls by force, so they decide to attack Darren all at once, so they finally end up using 100% of their brain capacity. Unfortunately for them though, this Darren isn't an ordinary rookie anymore, so he ends up pulling a faker to destroy them 1 versus 3 in the mid lane. Suddenly, after beating them all up like it's a fighting game against some easy bots, a bunch of guards rush through the door and behind them comes a mysterious person. It's then revealed that the mysterious person is Ariana, the royal captain of the guards, and let's just say she's equipped with such large milkshake machines that they are literally larger than her body. Don't be fooled though, since she didn't sleep around to get her rank. Instead, she's so overpowered that she became the youngest female knight to ever become the captain due to her sheer skill. Anyways, Ray discovers that our boys spilled the beans to the commander, and they have investigated the case, to which they have come to the conclusion that he was absolutely correct about everything. So it's revealed that while the coward and his boys were busy planning to take Darren down, they didn't realize they were also being closely watched by the non-sussy knights. Now, with everything going according to Darren's plan, Ariana orders her men to restrain and seize the 3 traitors to take back to the capital. However, Tyke screams like a little baby, making up excuses that Darren framed him, but Ariana just shakes her head and tells them that they found sword imprints on Sir Hackard, not demon bites. Plus, to make matters worse for him, one of the knights were able to confirm that one of the teacups was laced with a magical potion that makes you a sussy bacca. So with no hope left for Tyke, he tries to shove his face into Ariana for one last sniff of glory in between her twin dragons. But you can see she also got French buns ready to pop out of her armor. Unfortunately for him though, he didn't even come close to the finish line, as Ariana quickly showed off her gymnastic skills to teach him a lesson he will never forget. With the entire ordeal now coming to a close, Darren learns from Ariana that the 3 musketeers will most likely face imminent expiry dates as soon as they make it back to headquarters. Now the crazy part in all of this is that Ray doesn't even look slightly sad about Tyke and his future, so all she does is murmur, "But oh, that sucks, I guess." Anyways, with the heretic now fully out of the picture, our boy becomes a menace by straight up asking Ray if she would like to do some rice cake smashing. So before she would even say anything, he picks up Ray like a rag doll since she's still under the effect of the magic potion, causing his nether dragon to appear out of his portal. Shortly after Ray is put into prime position for becoming queen of his banana tree plantation, she just goes along with everything as the sussy Fire Nation has already taken over her mind. Darren then grabs both fresh watermelons in front of him and stares into Ray, waiting to see if she's actually going to do anything, as it's now her turn to make a move as he doesn't want to be compared to the top G. So just as he thought, she succumbs to the intense pressure, causing her to unleash her hidden street side, allowing a mutual and beneficial 1-versus-1 duel to occur between the two. Regardless, Ray has to get a new couch, now since it looks like a waterfall came out of nowhere, drenching the entire half of the couch, even though they barely have even started partaking in the beautiful art of rice cake smashing. Eventually, Bro whips out his entire cheesy Pringles can free from his box, instantaneously shocking Ray since she didn't even know you could order a Subway foot long that big right off the bat. And so the rest was history as a legendary full diamond battering ram made its way past C3 of Ray's world, simultaneous to making her understand how hard it is to grind for a mythical fruit. Nevertheless, after finishing their first 1-versus-1 duel leaving Ray totally speechless, she tells him to move away, but she stutters in the middle of her sentence. Suddenly, his mythical sword instantly grows back to its primal Groudon form, causing Ray to go wide-eyed as she knows it's time for round 2 of some dynamite demolishing. Unfortunately for them though, some random rookie forgot something at Ray's house, and it turns out Ray's house in the morning is a rest stop for any soldier wanting some tea or coffee in the day. So now the two are about to get caught red-handed by a random normie, whilst Darren is stuck deep inside the castle walls of Ray, catching the two by total surprise since it's past midnight. Luckily for them though, the dude forgot how to use a doorknob to open a door, so the plot armor thickens. Eventually, he finally remembers how to be a normal human being, so he's able to make his way in. But he stops for a second since he smells an unfamiliar yet overwhelming scent. He then starts talking out loud like a weirdo, busy questioning life as he can't believe someone would have a smelly fart like this while also forgetting to turn off the lights. Nonetheless, he goes about his business, but on the other hand, Mr. Chad has fired up his rocket boosters. He then sends his behemoth straight into the defense of Ray's special treasure, causing her to let out a weird sound that the random happens to hear. With plot armor still on Darren's side, the normie begins to second-guess himself if he actually heard anything when it's clear that the desk in front of him is busy, constantly vibrating more than Drake's phone when the leak happened. Nevertheless, the soldier continues on searching for his lost item, only for it to be revealed as what looks like an engagement ring box. After breathing a sigh of relief as no one stole the expensive ring, he gets even closer to the sussy epicenter where Ray is busy whispering to Darren that going unprotected with his behemoth is super dangerous. However, the turntables turn once again when we discover that the ring is actually for Ray, and that this ultra simp bought it just so he could confess like a loser while Ray is busy digging the battering ram Darren has brought along inside. Nonetheless, the two continue on their extreme anime escapade with the guy still around, so Darren decides to show the simp who's boss by filling up Ray with his McDonald's Shamrock Shake ready to go. With their intense rice cake destroying now finished, Darren takes a peek to make sure the guy is gone, and luckily for them, the soldier is nowhere to be seen. On the other hand, Ray quickly gets flustered and super furious that Darren shared his Shamrock Shake with her when he didn't wrap the shake and put a lid on top in the first place. Darren is big brain though, so he turns around on her by saying that it's fair for him to explode once because she was busy crossing the finish line 4 times already during their anime duel. So just like that, Ray blushes from his Rizzlord powers after realizing that Darren is actually right, and it's the first time she's finished more than once in a very long time, if ever. Suddenly, before Ray could fully respond to him, Darren ends up activating his demon time mode as Bro decides one round isn't enough, so it's time for round 3 of their 1-versus-1 duel. These two are the ultimate sussy baka, so we end up not stopping at round 3 as they continued on in their intense and extreme sussy anime duels the entire night and into the early morning. Fast forward 2 days after Ray found out about Darren's hidden Rayquaza, our boy finds himself summoned in front of the Queen of Double-Deckers, and surprisingly, a new blue-haired lady has appeared. Nonetheless, Ariana informs Darren that all thanks to him she's able to bring Tyke his deserved punishment, and he's now sent to Warzone Gulags to pay for his atrocity. Since she's super thankful that Sir Hackard has been avenged, she decides to reward Darren with anything he literally wishes for, causing Darren to instantly look super sus. Upon the mysterious lady hearing that Ariana is actually willing to reward him with anything he wants, She perks up like a Karen and begins to stare him down, looking like she's wanting to obliterate him right there and then. A flashback then occurs detailing the past life of Ariana Katrin, the strongest female knight within the realm who oozes utter dominance, justice, and whale-like personalities. Her twin pyramids of Giza are so large that it doesn't even fit any armor you could ever find, so she had to craft some cups that fit her herself to protect the giants she's hiding beneath her armor. So back to present, Darren already knows what he wants, but Ariana is oblivious to what he's about to ask for. Even in Darren's zombie form, the blue-haired girl totally knows what's up. We then learn that the blue-haired girl is named Rise, like Rise from League of Legends, and since she's so riled up now, an innocent Ariana asks her if there's anything wrong. But knowing that it's not part of her station to be a snitch, she's forced to play along and act like nothing is wrong. But we can clearly see her saltiness level rise higher than the Dead Sea. She's also super loyalty to Ariana since she's her right-hand man, so anything that Ariana wants or commands basically goes, and there's nothing she will ever do about it. Regardless, Darren stops blatantly staring at the killer whales in front of him after figuring out that Rise might be onto his pervy sage tactics, so he decides to go plan B. Instead of being brutally honest and asking permission to destroy Ariana's plump home base, he changes his wish to be personally trained by the Dame Ariana. So after not using his banana tree to think of his decisions for himself, Darren makes a wise choice as he knows he needs to get stronger earlier in his life to make sure he has enough power to save this world. Luckily for Darren though, Ariana looks like she's going to accept his wish, but she needs some more time to think about it. But Rise looks like she's vehemently opposed to the idea. Elsewhere, on this anime planet, Rei gets surprised ganked with a proposal from the same dude a couple days ago. The dude then starts begging for Rei to accept his confession while looking like he's about to cry, making an excuse that he spent his entire year's salary just so he could buy this ring for her. Unfortunately for him though, this simping heart breaks into a million pieces when Rei tells him that she likes someone else, and that nice guys always finish last. Now unsure of what to do in his life since he dedicated an entire year of no Roblox and Minecraft just to save up for this moment, he asks who the lucky guy is. Upon hearing the simp's request, she instantly starts thinking of Chad the Mandarin by her side, causing her to remember all the sussy moments they'd had the past week. With the Fire Nation constantly attacking her mind, she ends up snapping back to reality and yells at the simp that obviously the guy is going to be kept secret from him. Now speak of the devil, Darren decides to find out what all the yelling and commotion near Ray's house is all about, so he turns the corner to figure out what's going on. But the first thing he sees is a grown man bawling his eye out while running as fast as he can, looking like he just heard that Taco Bell is shutting down forever. Seconds later, Rei follows behind the running man, so she bumps into Darren with her amazing arsenal of weapons already equipped on her, ready to suffocate any trespassers at any moment. Darren then quickly waves, but he accompanies his greetings with some words you only say to your arch-nemesis, so bro finds himself playing with anime fire. After hearing all the dirty words come out of Darren's mouth, Rei goes ballistic like a missile, so she goes off on Darren, super angry that he has the gall to call her that in public. Nevertheless, Darren is a menace to cultured society, so he just acts as if he didn't just set off at Sumner in front of him. So he continues to change the subject to tell her that he's just here to tell her a secret. Rei quickly cools off after only hearing the word secret, hoping that he's here to confess his love for her. So she calms down and asks what the heck he wants. Unfortunately for her though, Darren wasn't reincarnated with the X and I simp genes this time, so he straight up asks her if she could bring his meals separately from now on. To make matters worse for Rei, as bro doesn't want to spend more time with her anymore during lunch, he reveals the fact that he's personally going to be trained by the none other than the queen of all watermelons, so he's probably going to be busy all the time. As such, Rei starts to look like she's about to throw her own temper tantrum at him, unable to understand why he can't just go ahead and pick up his own meals instead, so she pouts like those Instagram models. However, our boy is a mega brain after all, so he quickly grabs Rei's sensitive milk machines while changing his mind, telling her that if she brings his meals to him instead, then he will give her all the rice cake smashing she wants, anytime, anywhere. Upon hearing his new offer, she quickly pushes him off and acts like she doesn't want anything related to sussy time, claiming that she never wanted anything to do with him romantically the entire time. But mere seconds later, and with Darren not budging a single inch, Rei starts to twirl her hair before asking what kind of food he wants her to bring him for his meals. Now that he's confirmed that his mission was a success in making Rei fall heads over heels for his behemoth, he starts teasing her, while letting her know that he would love some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches if it's possible. In the end, he waves goodbye after securing his meal deal while calling her some more insulting words, which again riles up Rei, but it seems like she likes getting called names deep inside. Nonetheless, our boy decides to go on about his day by exploring his old town, wanting to know how Tyke got the magical potion to make someone become an ultimate sussy Becca with just a few drops. He knows that something as potent as what Tyke used cannot be from the human world, so there must be something evil going on behind the scenes. As such, Darren went to investigate further by interrogating an old friend of his who happened to be picked by Tyke to join his party just a few days prior before the entire ordeal began. With their eyes disappearing, you know this is all serious anime business, so the guy reveals that Tyke secretly went somewhere the night before. Usually, every night he was out to buy drinks, but this night was different as he caught him visiting an infamous street called Night, where he ended up trading with a merchant wearing a black robe. Even this merchant got some cannons on her ship, but anyways, she came equipped with a bunch of goods like forbidden magical potions, curses, and basically anything you could think of, so she's literally like a witch. However, Darren's friend wasn't really sure what he bought as he was too freaked out about the entire thing. So with nothing else Darren could learn from his old friend, he leaves and bids farewell, but his friend panics as he wants Darren to make sure he keeps everything a secret. Of course, Darren isn't a snitch, so he reassures him that his identity will be kept secret the entire time as long as he is still alive and breathing. Fast forward to nightfall, back in the middle of town, Darren has decided to track down whoever got those suspicious cannons from that sussy street that people name Night. But within mere seconds of just walking around where Night is supposedly located, Darren is able to quickly find someone with some cannons on them, and they even happen to wear a black robe that fits the description. Regardless, the plot is on his side, so some random wind gust out of nowhere removes her hood, and upon further inspection, the cannons on her ship were triple the size he thought, and the mysterious robed merchant happens to be his type. However, it was totally unlucky timing for the mysterious merchant since her identity got exposed at the exact same time. Some soldiers were busy patrolling the area, so she starts running like I show speed. With the guards chasing her with all their might to protect the town, they end up cornering her as she ran straight into a dead end with wanted one-piece bounty posters littered around. The merchant then stops and lets the guards get close while she refuses to answer any of the questions they were asking her, but she doesn't seem too worried at all. Eventually, she's forced to turn around so the two guards get flash-banged by her twin dragons as they were peeking out her robe, due to her cannons being larger than her outfit, so she yells at them claiming that she's busy. But the two soldiers don't relent even if their target looks more delicious than a red velvet blizzard from Dairy Queen, so they stick to their honor and ask for her identification like it's some kind of traffic stop. However, the merchant makes an excuse and tells them that she just had amnesia, so she lost her papers and she has no idea where it could be since she can't remember. Somehow, her fake acting works, so she causes the two guards to rethink their approach as they don't want to be late due to them both wanting to watch the movie Dune Part 2 in less than 15 minutes. So to skip boring formalities and paperwork, they reach for her hood since they can just look at her face to remember later if she's a wanted person, but she refuses to fully reveal her face to them. Eventually, the two guards have had enough of playing around, and since they don't want to miss their movie, they detain her, and one of them even gets a 5-finger discount on her cannons like a savage. At the same time, we discover Darren busy hiding at the end of the alley, watching the entire thing unfold, but he's about to stop the guards from taking her as it will be hard to find her again the next day. However, right before Darren was about to step in to save a damsel in distress, he gets shocked as he witnesses pink magic begin to engulf the guards. She then brainwashes the two before sending them back to their headquarters, successfully allowing her to avoid detection, causing Darren to think she's actually a demon. After exerting a lot of forbidden energy to save her identity, the merchant collapses to the ground while making a starfish, busy muttering to herself about how life is so hard after having to leave her home. While attempting to recoup some mana in the alley, she suddenly gets ganked by Darren, who whispers and asks if she needs help or if she's in pinch right now. Nonetheless, she instantly recoils back as she didn't expect anyone to know how to get here, so in fear of her life, she questions Darren and asks who he is. Luckily for her though, Darren introduces himself as someone that wants to buy illegal magical goods from her, allowing her to quickly settle down, so she starts whipping out items hidden in her extra-large mountains. But as she reveals a couple of her items for sale, she gets caught off guard by Darren's question asking her if she's perhaps secretly a demon. Without her even saying a word, Darren continues to violate the distance between them, getting closer and closer like the Slender Man, but he couples it with even more questions, asking things like where she's originally from. However, destiny strikes when the merchant's stomach starts to rumble since she hasn't eaten anything in a while. So Darren makes an offer she could not refuse by offering her unlimited free food if she comes with him to a nearby inn. Success, his offer works as she's enticed by the promise of free lodging and even free unlimited meat, but my sussy senses are tingling since bro didn't specify what kind of meat. Fast forward a couple hours later, after a couple food babies, Darren was able to find out that her name is Alice and she's even a princess from a demon tribe, but she got stuck here after running out of mana. So with Alice finally letting her guard down, she better watch out since Sussy Baker Prime looks like he's about to pounce on his prey, and we all know he got a specific type and her G-Yats fit the bill. Shortly before Alice takes refuge within her new room, Darren comes up with a big brain plan and asks the succubus princess to just recharge her mana so she can return back to her home world. However, since Alice is royalty, she informs Darren she's never ever seen a banana before since she's supposed to save her powers for the one perfect person and not for a Randy Bronze player. Now, after hearing Alice mention that she's actually the perfect anime Virgin Mary, Darren freaks out and starts raising his voice in disbelief, but we all know deep inside he's already revving up his engine like he's a Lamborghini. Regardless, Darren takes a moment to take it all in again, since he's never met someone like her all his life, and this is a prime opportunity for him to steal a V card from the enemy forces. However, after regaining composure like he has to shoot 3 perfect free throws to ice the game, Bro finds out that she's only ever recharged her mana with her lips, so she's like half Sussy Baker like the demigods from Percy Jackson and the Olympians. She then further reveals that she's cursed, so every time anyone sees her entire face gets fully captivated by her. And I don't blame them since if we go lower, those badonkadonks can rival any Instagram models from Latin America. Anyways, before Alice can even finish her backstory, Darren goes ape mode due to his curiosity getting the best of him, but Alice gets scared since she knows what's going to happen next. So with all the blood rushing down to his own little monkey down there, he continues to pester Alice to see her face and tries to guilt trip her by saying that it's the least she can do after he bought her an entire meal for 12 and even paid for her new room. But since she's a strong, independent lady that need no man, she says no, causing Bro to go on a frenzy on a full buy round, so he drops the bomb and threatens her by claiming he's going to report her for being a demon. And just like that, Bro is in using some very unconventional and not recommended reads that might get you a restraining order, but since a demon is vulnerable in the human world, she finally complies to the demands. But since she's not an ultimate Sussy Baker yet, the two head inside the room for the first time after Alice urged him to go inside since she doesn't want anyone else to see her face out in the public hallway. After finally getting situated inside the room, she tries to teleport away by clicking her heels like Dorothy from Wizard of Oz without Darren seeing, but unfortunately, it doesn't work at all. With nothing else up her sleeve, and with Darren looking like his third leg is about to rip from his jeans, Alice sighs after seeing no escape and only a bed ready to go in front of her. And with time ticking before Bro's third leg entered the arena, Darren makes the first move and closes the gap between them, while ordering Alice to remove her hood as it's time to see what her face looks like, and she better look like she's a straight 100 out of 10. Literally 1 second later, he throws the hood away, but off comes the entire robe by accident since he didn't realize the Sussy Fire Nation made it all connected, so it's finally time for the ultimate reveal. With Alice's true form now fully uncovered, Darren instantly falls in love since her American-sized extra-large meal proportions were much larger than expected, plus everything underneath is see-through like a glass bridge. Nonetheless, Darren begins to stare directly at the insane Honkai impacts on Alice while also barraging her with so much compliments that will make any sane person think he's a serial love bomber. Bro then has to fight off the intense urge to not turn Alice into a cow ready for some prime milk farming, even though his third leg has already hit the ground, busy wanting to enter her realm of no return. Luckily, Bro is able to fend off the Sussy Fire Nation attacks with his peaceful Zen bending, so Darren ends up telling Alice that he thinks the curse doesn't work on him, even though deep inside he wants to go gear second on those plump devil fruits. So after hearing the curse doesn't work on him, Alice is ecstatic since this is the first time ever a man doesn't accidentally go Harambe on her after seeing her face, so she goes for a wholesome embrace. Mere seconds later, the Sussy turntables turn when Darren unexpectedly finds the demon opening her mouth while deviously asking him if he's sure he doesn't want to rice cake smash her, while pushing her twin pyramids of Giza straight onto him. Surprisingly, Darren claims he has no urge to and says that he's a mighty noble knight, causing her to tear up in front of him while asking our boy if he doesn't even find her slightly attractive as a grown woman. I guess Darren is big brain after making Alice fall for his trap hook, line, and sinker, so he tells her he finds her very pretty while simultaneously pulling her super close to experience some more real-life body pillow action. Things then escalate more after Darren spills the beans by telling her he wants to rice cake smash her so bad that he wants to break the bed, and somehow it works, so Alice asks if she can straight up devour his dragon Longsword. After falling on her knees, she quickly removes the armor plate legs on Darren, but his battering ram swiftly ruptures through his pants like a springed sword, shocking Alice, but Bro thinks it's the smell that caused her face to go wide. Mere seconds later, all demons within Alice get unleashed since this is her natural habitat, so she goes harder than a rock band lead singer on his microphone, swallowing everything up with ease. Even though Darren was all up in the swamp the past week with no bathing at all, She cleans up his entire battering ram while also looking like she's about to pass out from the stench coming from his sweaty god sword. Since Alice has never ever seen a real-life dragon god sword before, her pent-up demon powers allows her to become stronger than a Dyson vacuum, causing Darren to explode in less than a minute from Alice starting her advance. After his volcano erupted like Mount Rushmore, Bro started screaming like a girl since Alice kept on doing the good deed, causing Darren to fall over, but she was still going like a stuck toilet plunger, unwilling to stop. Eventually, Darren's life force is fully sucked out of him, but then he activates his Sussy Master Jutsu he learned from the Hidden Village, allowing him to regain energy to start another round, but this time he's planning to dominate this little demon to show her who's the real boss. So with no time left to spare, Darren begins his invasion inside Alice's secret treasure hoard, and within 2 dragon thrusts, he almost gets squeezed so hard inside that he thought a wormhole was about to swallow whole due to how tight and narrow everything was. This time, within 30 seconds, Bro lets his milkshake out into a McFlurry cup and filled it entirely, but he doesn't want to be defeated in the amazing battle, so he continues on like a champ for round 3. Although he's now exhausted from filling Alice's special treasure up to the brim, she reveals to him that she has special powers to automatically absorb everything, so he can keep going for as long as he wants. So this time he orders Alice to turn around since he wants to see a new view during their scenic ride, and it'll be a waste if he doesn't get to watch the Badonkadonks move and jiggle like no tomorrow. With his nether dragon now roaring to go, he starts his attack side, but Darren's entire body shakes every time he re-hits the site she's defending due to the gigantic buns protecting the choke point, so he basically loses his cool every second. Suddenly, an intense shockwave from her fresh bakery buns knocks him out straight into a flashback, where we discover that Alice is actually engaged, but she absolutely hates it because it's an arranged marriage and she had no say in it at all. And the worst part is that Bro is literally living the dream of a real-life furry since he's literally a furry monster, but he happens to be one of the 4 heavenly kings in the demonic kingdom. And the reason why she's stuck here is because of him, since he accidentally saw her face, causing him to want to rice cake smash. But you know, Bro is like 20 feet tall, so I don't think her treasure pile can handle a furry beast trying to enter it, so she ran away to this world. Anyways, back to the present, Alice revives him awake with a simple lip touch, but even though he was fully out of it for a couple seconds, he realizes his battering ram was still kicking like he was there the entire time. Regardless, after depleting his protein source more than 20 times, he's still at it because he knows he's going to really fall under her spell if he doesn't fully conquer Alice, since it's now or never. As such, Bro channels every energy he could muster within him and calls upon his idol, the One Punch Man himself, so he can attempt his special One Thrust Man move to make Alice succumb to his mere mortal powers to finally cross the finish line. After activating his Sussy Master move with all his might, Alice yells out a battle cry that every neighbor within the block was able to hear. He's then able to successfully conquer her. But since these two were so loud, their next door neighbors were forced to join in on the fun after hearing everything unfold right beside them. In the end, the two kept going throughout the entire night, leaving everyone restless, but in the morning, he told her to lay low at the inn, and he's even giving her some money so she can eat like a queen. But as he bids farewell to Alice, she refuses to leave his side since he's now called Master.